Hello everyone. Alright, we're going to be replacing the stock exhaust on 2015 Chevy Camaro, and we're going to be replacing with this part right here, the MBRP exhaust. Alright, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to do a cold start on the stock exhaust, and we're just going to rev it a little bit. Alright, so to remove the stock exhaust, we need to remove these two bolts, these nuts and bolts on each side. There's 4 in total. This is the clamp that holds the exhaust on the rear resonators. Up here you have your cats. We have the resonators. We're going to be keeping the stock resonators on there. And then what we have to do is remove that brace right there. There's 4 bolts. By the looks of it, it might be a 14 mil. We'll look at it right now. And then on the rear, all we have to do is just start removing all the hangers that are in the back. But it should be fairly simple. All it is just removing these bolts, removing the grommet hangers, the center piece right there. And with the MBRPs, it's pretty much bolt on the way it is on the stock exhaust. All it is just replacing this back piece and replacing it with the MBRPs, which will connect to the stock resonators and the cats. We're not going to be deleting any of this at the moment. Maybe later on in another video we might deleting the resonators, but still keep the cats because we're in California and we need to deal with all these regulations. But MBRP should fit on these perfectly. All we have to do is just do these steps and we'll get on air right now. Alright, so we figured out that these are going to be 15 mils. We got to remove 4 of them, 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. So we're going to get started on it. So what you're going to need, usually either you get a long pry bar like this one, or if you can lift up the car more on a lift or put it on jack stands, you can either get it with an impact. Either you can use one of these, or what I like to do is just get it with the long ratchet. Comes out easy, and then unscrew them a little bit and then you can get them off by hand. Doesn't take too much force. If you have the long ratchets, if you have short ones, good luck. It's gonna take you a while, especially if your car has a lot of rust underneath, or the stock exhaust's been on there for like a good bit. It's gonna suck because either you have to use WD-40 or pray to God they come out easily. But these came out fairly easy. It doesn't look like you don't have any rust pretty much under these. They look fairly clean for it being 2015. Usually all these cars are dirty or people beat that living crap out of them. But by the looks of it, clamp's gonna be coming off pretty fairly easy. So what we're gonna do is grab a small pry bar or a flathead, kind of pry this kind of downward to open up this clamp a little bit, enough so we can kind of like take it off. Because I think these, I believe Chevy designed them where they have a little clip, or like, yeah, a little clip that holds on to these. So just in case if your bolts come out, the exhaust doesn't come out. So pretty much we just have to pry it out a little bit with the flathead, and we should be getting this off right now. Alright, now we got our flathead, and all we have to do is just kind of like pry on it a little bit. Kind of from right here, right there, kind of loosen it up a little bit. Kind of get it with both hands. Come over here where the clip is at, kind of lift that. That allows you to pull this a little bit. Helps you pull it back. So all you do is just kind of like push it forward. As long as you get it out of this groove right here, you should be fine. Because now the exhaust can come out freely and it's not like stuck in there. Because Chevy designed it where if you lose your nuts, it doesn't come off because of this piece right here. But yeah, we'll do that on both sides right now, and then we'll show you how to take off the bolts and what size it is for the cross brace, and then we should be getting to the hanger shortly. Alright, now what we have to do is remove these 4 bolts that hold this bracket in. This is for the exhaust, so it'll make it easier to drop it down. They're 15 mils, so how we have better leverage here, we're going to get the impact and we're going to take them down. We'll do that right now. got this back now. That makes it easier to pull the exhaust backwards. But first, we gotta remove all the hangers that are holding in the back end of the exhaust and fronts. We have those both removed, and it should be easy. All we have to do is just remove the hangers. We bring this backwards, and we should be able to drop it and start installing the other one. All right, we have two hangers right here on the bottom side of these big resonators. And then up here, we have two hangers that wrap around this resonator. This big old tubs. So first things first, we're gonna remove them from here. So get yourself a pry bar. You can either add WD-40 or not. We're just gonna take them off like that. If we struggle, then we are gonna add WD-40 in here. Make it a lot easier where these can pop out. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna give it a try, see what it does, which came out fairly easy. So I'm gonna jump to the other side and do it without trying to have these things fall on me. Let's see if I can get it at an angle. So kind of, get it across. So you do just pull, should come off easy. Pretty sure we're gonna reuse these again, so just keep them aside. Now for these are gonna be a little harder. You have the ones up there, you have one there, one right next to it. Now these are gonna be a little tricky, so these just put the pry bar from the inside and kind of find a way where you can pry onto them. Let's see if I can get somewhere to grip on. Haven't done these before, so it's gonna take a little bit of adjust where you want your pry bar. Okay, so I kind of paused it right now to figure out where I can put the pry bar. So pretty much where we're gonna put where we put the pry bar is right underneath the exhaust right here. So you go underneath the exhaust, you kind of like wrap it around up there, make it easier where you can pry with the exhaust. You pry again, well, on it. It should be easier to pop these things out. So let me pop these things out real quick, and then we'll get going on it. Kind of makes it a lot more easier. The tricky part is getting it to where you want it at first, enough so you can pry on it. Okay, so there we go, we got one side. Just be careful that it doesn't fall on you, because as soon as you let that go, it pretty much comes off. So we're gonna move to that side right now. As soon as we do that side, then I'll show you guys how to pull it out from that way to this way, which will make it a lot easier. Now we have this dangling. All we have to do is just pry it off, and we should be good to go to put the other exhaust. All right, now we got it off. So like I was saying, each side has a hanger here and a hanger there on both sides. So make sure when you guys take it off, just be careful, because it is heavy. This thing is heavy. You are gonna need someone to help you out. So as soon as you take them off, it's gonna dangle. Once it dangles, like, you can kind of like pull towards you, and it'll disconnect from all the way down there. Like we have it over there. It disconnects easily as long as you have that bracket out of the way. The front ones that we took off, all you do is just pull this backwards, and all of it should come off. But these things are heavy.
Also, make sure don't stand underneath it. Like, don't be laying down underneath the exhaust, because that will just fall on top of you.
Yeah, that thing will hurt. These things are massive and heavy. All right, but we're gonna move these out of the way, and then we're gonna show you the new exhaust that we're gonna be putting on this car. All right, so these are the MBRPs. We got the X pipe. So these are the things right here. Now these come in parts, so each thing is gonna be bolted on with a clamp. So we're gonna build it forward all the way back, which is gonna make it a lot more easier to do. In the end, we're gonna end up with the same tips in the rear. But let's kind of take it out and see what we got. We got pipes. More and more pipes. See? So these are gonna be the end pieces. See, now these are gonna connect to the existing, I believe the existing were mounted with the rubber grommets. Now let's see where the tips are at. Pretty sure they're right here. Let's look at these things. Ooh, nice. So these are the tips. Ooh, look at that. MBRPs. This thing looks nice. Ah, this thing's gonna look clean. Alright, well, let's start getting on the install. We're gonna start from forward all the way to back, and we'll show you guys the end video. Unless, actually, we're gonna be showing parts from all the way forward, all the way back, so you guys can kind of see how we did it. And also, we're gonna do the startup in the end. So stay tuned. Alright, so we have the paper right here that came with it. So it's from 2010 to 2015 Camaro 3.6 L, which is V6. The 2.5 inch dual exhaust. So this is how it goes. First, we have these two pieces here. You have your clamps here, which are your number 7s. You have your X pipe, which is your number 2. Then you have another clamps here, 2 number 7s. Then you have your 4 and your 3, which are the long tubes right here. Also, then you have your last clamps, which are the 7s, and the other 7 on each side. Then you put these two big pieces here, and then in the end, you have your little duals, which are number 8s. They pretty much bolt on because they have their own little clamp with it. But yeah, so you have your 2 front pipes, your X pipe, your driver's side tailpipe, passenger side tailpipe, driver's side muffler, passenger side muffler, 2 1.5 inch clamps, 6 piece. You have 6 of them, which are these right here, your clamps. And then you have your exhaust tips. You have a 2 piece. So with these, when you order them, it should all come with a manual on how to do them. So you have from figure 1 all the way to figure 9, which is pretty much step 9. From 1 to 9, which is easy. On this one, it shows you how to remove the original one. We already did all that, so from step 1 to 5, we're pretty much done. All we had to do is pretty much 6, 7, 8, and 9, which is fairly simple. How you have the instructions right here is you start from these pieces here, you work your way back. So we're gonna start installing it right now. We showed you how to pretty much from front to back. In the end, we're just gonna show you the startup video with the new exhaust. All right, now we just finished installing the exhaust all the way from the front all the way down to the back. Pretty much self-explanatory. Went in where it needs to all go. Brackets up there, I mean with the grommets. See, they're lined up with the original ones there. We have the exhaust all the way bolted down over there. And then we have the tips, the other tips that came with it. Alright, and right now we're about to do a cold start with the new MBRP exhaust. Alright, we got the MBRPs installed. We're about to do a cold start on it.